Hey, howdy fam. It's me, Jonathan DeLego, social media director here. Today I'm with Brett Diehl, owner of the Cocky Rooster. So I'm going to pass the mic off to him and let him introduce himself and tell you a little bit about him.
Thank you. So my name is Brett and part of the team at Cocky Rooster. Cocky Rooster is a local chicken joint. We've got a couple locations. We got a food truck, food trailer, make all of our sauces and dips and dry rubs and stuff in-house from scratch, and do things like we say the hard way, which is just a long way of saying, taking the time and effort to really put thought and care into our recipes to serve our community. I'm super passionate about cars, passionate about watches and chicken. Been married for a little over 8 years to Elise, who's also a huge Audi fan and driver. And we've got an 11-month-old Ever and a schnoodle named Kinsley. And that's a little about me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you talked about you and your wife both being Audi fans.
Yeah.
Would you tell us a little bit about that? What models you've owned, your loyalty to us here at Audi Richmond?
Sure. So I'm a product of the Fast and the Furious generation, and so my gateway to Audi was through Volkswagen, and so I've had more cars than I can count in my life. But one of my best friends, Freddie, let me drive his. He had a Mark IV GLI that was tuned, and I drove that for the first time back in 2007, and immediately started shopping for an Audi, and got an A4. And then my first purchase was an A4 in 2008. And since then, I've had a ton of different Volkswagens and Audis, but specific to the Audi brand, we've had an SQ5, Q7, RS5, S8, and just picked up the new Q8 e-tron. So been a big loyal fan to Audi for a long time, and have owned several.
That's awesome. So out of all those models you've owned, there's definitely a big variety between having a Q7, experiencing electric with the Q8 e-tron, getting in the Audi Sport family with the SQ5, RS5, S8. What have been your favorite features of the models you've owned?
Yeah, great question. So, for me, Audi is the perfect blend of performance and luxury. So it kind of just depends on your mood. You know what I mean? So me specifically, I'm much more of a performance fan. So I've really enjoyed having, like you said, the sport models, the RS5, the SQ5, and most recently the S8 for myself. And really just having that kind of understated luxury, the class, the elegance, but also being a little bit understated in the sense that a true enthusiast knows what they're looking at, but to the layman, it's a little bit more under the radar, if you will. So I've enjoyed that, the technology, the attention to detail. I even remember on my first A4 just being blown away by an entry-level luxury vehicle having things that no car I'd had up to that point had, even like the map light and things like that are just I hadn't had up to that point in my early driving life. But that has always been what really stood out to me, was the attention to detail and the understated luxury and performance.
Yeah, one of my favorite features, especially with S8 or S6, which I've been able to spend a lot of time with, is that understated performance where, you pull up to a stoplight and, your average Joe next to you is just like, oh, it's really, beautiful Audi sedan. But next thing they know, you're, a mile ahead of them.
Yeah.
So definitely fun. How is the customer experience side of things been for you in terms of purchasing cars or going in for service? I know that Darian absolutely adores and raves about both you and Elise. So
yeah, so that is a huge reason that we are such loyal fans to Audi, is that curated customer experience. And we were lucky enough to be introduced to Darian when buying our first Audi from Paige at the original location down Broad Street. And like I said, we're fortunate enough to be greeted by Darian. And since then, she's always treated us like the best customers in the world and has sold us 4 Audis. But above that, walking in to serve service team, the sales staff who have never sold us a car always greets us by name. The finance team, even the managers always, greet us by name and make us feel like we're more important than we are. But that's definitely what keeps us coming back. And love that coffee machine too. That's not bad.
Yeah, we got a new one downstairs, so you guys got to come by and check that out for sure. So how would you say that as a business owner, the Audi brand has influenced or inspired the way that you run your business or how you are as a business owner?
Yeah. So our mission statement at Cocky Rooster is inspiring tomorrow's forward thinkers through today's experiences. And to me, that kind of goes hand in hand with the feeling that I get when interacting with Audi, whether that's through the cars or through the team, through the staff. I'm always made to feel good, but also, like I mentioned before, that attention to detail is definitely what stands out for me. And so we endeavor at the Cocky Rooster to inspire from top to bottom the folks who dine with us, the people who work with us, potential investors, future sites, things of that nature. We're working today to inspire the future, and that to me speaks to the Audi brand.
Well, that's awesome. So I personally would love to know what got you into the restaurant industry, or what is your backstory about becoming a business owner?
Really, I just wanted to be able to buy nicer and nicer cars. But in all seriousness, chicken wings specifically have always been my favorite food, and I saw a need in the city of Richmond to really do things the way that I grew up eating chicken wings, which was my dad always was my inspiration for creating this. So he always made sauces from scratch. Actually, our top selling sauce is his recipe that I grew up eating. And so that was a big inspiration for me. But really just seeing a need to have a dedicated wing chicken joint in Richmond was the main inspiration. And I'd be remiss to not mention the team that I work with, because it wouldn't be possible without them. But we've got a great team of people, all the way from operations to brand to social media to, even the folks that make the chicken, work on our food trucks. Without them, none of this is possible. So it goes without saying that I'm more grateful to them than I can express. But the inspiration for creating the Cocky Rooster stems back to my roots of chicken wings being my favorite food and watching my dad create what I still consider to be the best wings on earth.
That's awesome. I guess partially in the Audi family, it reminds me a lot of the story about Porsche, where, Ferdinand Porsche, there was no car out there that he wanted. So he went out and built the car that he wanted. And I think that's awesome that when people see a need or see an opportunity, that they take that and they absolutely make it their own. So that's awesome. And it reminds me a lot of how we are at the dealership, where we are one big family and there's so much emphasis put on that, and that is such a key to success. So that's awesome. And I guess, kind of going in hand with your response, what would you say the most influential thing you've learned about being a business owner? What's the biggest takeaway that you've gotten from this experience?
Yeah, I'm gonna double down on people. They're our greatest asset, and personally and professionally, surrounding yourself with good, honorable people with good intentions, good heart, everything's gonna fall into place if you kind of keep that as your northern star, is surrounding yourself with people who you want to be around, who inspire you, who motivate you. So that's a short and sweet answer, but people.
Awesome. Well, I'd like to thank Brett very much today. If you guys are at the dealership or if you're in the area, they're literally 5 minutes down the road from us. So come check out the Cocky Rooster, get a sandwich, get some wings, get some sauces. Check it out. Brett, thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Awesome.